Today is day 17 of the podcast, and we've been looking at maturing through different stages and how Jesus came to model each stage and what submission looks like so that we can mature through each stage. And so Paul addresses, and I think it's really important for us to hear, Paul addresses what happens when we fail to mature, and you can find this in 1 Corinthians 3, verses 1 and 2. And I, brethren, could not speak to you as to spiritual men, but as to men of flesh, as to babes in Christ. See the equivalent there? I gave you milk to drink, not solid food, for you are not yet able to receive it. Even now you're not able, and it goes on. So he addresses them as we look closer. He addresses them as and their state of immaturity. And if you look at Hebrews, the end of chapter 5 and the beginning of chapter 6, the writer there is also lamenting a people that have gotten stuck in their maturing process. But if you look closer, you can see in 1 Corinthians 3, 1 and 2, a defining point of maturity. It's pretty... It's a wonderful picture, and it's the defining point of maturity to go from infancy to childhood. You know, infants are milk drinkers. They're only able to receive food that's already been pre-digested through the life of another. You know, there's no bottles back in Paul's time. And so Paul is addressing here those who are stuck just taking in pre-digested food. When you stop and think about it, and any of you that have children, you realize that most infants won't wean themselves. There's a desire to continue on. They're happy to remain in this place. But weaning is called for. And I just want to ask us to consider this not just personally, but what happens for a church that fails in its ability to mature and it remains at a point of infancy. So the question today, do you recognize any area where the Lord is trying to wean you? Or add new food into your diet?